money, with help, and yeah. So let's get the party started, okay?
All right, so I'm coming up next. I will tell you this, I'm from Tennessee and I'm here in Biloxi, and I will tell you, this is the first time I've ever done a presentation, but I'm distracted so much because as you look out the windows behind all these folks, it's the beach. And so it's like hard to think about the fact that I'm doing this one for work. This is really not really work. We're driving to town, but unlike you, I didn't get here to be balanced. I wasn't interested in health products. I was a tweaky guy and snowballs and all that good stuff. But I did come to this company because I saw a balance of products that we could build a residual income from. And that's really what most people talk to me about because I'm here for the money. I'll be very straight now. Has that been a good thing? I got involved in the products. They changed my life. I mean, what else can I say? I was on medications. A lot of things changed in my life. I was very asthmatic. Still have asthma. I'm making any claim here, so we don't feel, treat, or diagnose anything. But I will tell you this, I've been with this company 8 years. I got off 3 medications that I was on daily. And I'm now obviously much older, mid-60s, and medication free. Now that's kind of crazy after taking multiple medications for all these years. But I did lose several pounds. I lost actually COVID 84 to start with. So it's good that we got 55 because I got the COVID 30 back. So but the funny part is, if you look on the right of that screen, you'll see a young lady who is my daughter. I don't know where she got the opposite idea. Her all is about being healthy and fit, trainer, and all these different things. But for me, it was always about the residual income. So I want to make that very clear. I came for the money. For those that don't know my background, I was in manufacturing for 18 years. I was the largest contractor in the United States for Legion. Employed 430 people. And I thought life was great until NAFTA was signed. And I found myself joining this industry because I needed it. Not because I wanted it, because I needed it. And yet, that's been 20 years. I could never find myself doing anything else. You could never prize me back to corporate America. But if you've never experienced residual income, I made a lot of money in the movie business. I mean, literally 7 figures, multi-7 figures a lot of years. Yet, it was not residual in nature. So I spent kind of what I made. I was one of those people who spent 10% more than I made. So some years I actually went further in the hole because I made more money. So as we talk about residual income, the power of it, it doesn't matter if it's $500 a month, $5,000 a month, $50,000. It's irrelevant. The amount of residual income is really important because if you collect it over and over again, you'll learn the value of it. And I think sometimes in our industry, we talk so much about the big money, and there's big money here. We got people here that's paid billions of dollars. Here's something I want you to understand. How many people's lives would you change if they were just making an extra $1,000 of residual income? $2,000 residual income. I promise you, a lot of people. I think my Social Security checks, I started yet, but it's only about $3,000, $300. So I worked, whatever it is, 40 years to get there. So I'm not making working 6 or 10 years here and building what Social Security is going to make. I don't try to paint that picture of $100,000. I try to paint the picture of changing your life, making an extra $2,000 a month, and it'll be residual in nature. And here's the good news. It doesn't matter what my background is, totally different. And I've got a co-host today doing this presentation. Oh. Andrea Roster, I'm going to always me. We're going to get Andrea's story because you talk about a single mom, not a single mom, a stay-at-home mom. That's what you call yourself. You weren't, though. You're corporate America for once. Why don't you tell your story?
Well, can we just talk about this picture right here? This is my most favorite picture ever. This little human is 13. And sometimes he loves me, and a lot of times he just does not. So I'm like, can we just frame this? Because he was so nice to me in this moment. It's fantastic. I guess that's what happens when you take your kids on vacation. So I'm going to do a lot more of that. So my name is Andrea Roster. I have been like, I don't even know, am I going to share my story or something? Okay, so my background, you're right, I was a corporate America mom. So if you had asked me going back, maybe, well, we'll say about 11 years, maybe 12. If I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, I would have scoffed at you. No, but because I knew I couldn't, right? So you ever look down on something because, and that's blinding me, so I gotta go here. You ever look down at something because you can't have it, you cannot picture it any way in your mind, I could never do that, not because I wouldn't want to, I would dream about pushing the nanny. Like, it's horrible. Don't judge me too badly. I used to dream about pushing the nanny down the stairs because I hated her. I loved her because she was loving my babies, but I hated her because she got all the moments with these kids that I didn't have the privilege to have. Because if I didn't work, those little beasties didn't eat. So that was my life. Worked in corporate America for about 17 years. And then the whole housing, kind of a similar economy, bless you, to what we have today, where we watched like industries just kind of crumble. And mine was one of them. I worked in real estate, not selling homes, but kind of the back end and the paper pusher. And watched that go away. I got laid off from my job and went home and went, well, they still have to eat. My bills still have to be paid. And I have no idea how I'm going to do it. So fast forward a year of me being out of work. So that's when you picture your life. If about 70% of your income is coming from what you're doing right that moment and it goes away, and then you live a year without it, what would your finances look like? And I hope you've never seen it in reality, but I'll tell you for mine, I was 2 months behind on my mortgage. I was crying like a lot. I walked around with my eyes about this big at all times because I was so anxious because I didn't know what I was going to do. I'd looked for jobs, I'd looked for this, and didn't find anything. And that is when this industry found me. And I just say I had to be really humbled. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I really had to be that low to kind of see it. Because I actually, my parents did Amway when I was little. I didn't even consider, I didn't even think about it. It's not for me. I'm a back of the room person. I like to not talk. So I thought, I can never do anything like this. But somebody reached out to me and said, hey, this is helping us feed our kids. Maybe it would help you feed yours. And I went, all right, who am I to say no to that? So I sat down kind of just like this. And I went, I might be able to do that. And I didn't think big picture. I only thought grocery money. Because in that moment in my life, that's what I needed. So, I would go to the grocery store every other day when I could get a little bit of money. And this sounds so dumb. I'm not sure if it's my favorite. My kids, they were 2 and 5 at the time, and they had to agree on their fruit. It's okay, guys, we're going to get fruit, right? So pick one thing that you both can agree on. And they didn't know any better. Your kids just don't know better. So they're like, okay, this week we're going to get oranges, or this week we're going to get apples. And so if you ever want me to feel really flush, is when you go to my house and there's only fruit in the house. It's so dumb, but it's a big deal for the Rosser family. It's a big deal. But anyway, I came here, if I could make $150 a week, I'd be rolling in the grocery store. I'd roll. Truly, I'd feel like that, where you put everything in there. Anyway, I'm chatting today. But I just thought if I could just do that, then I could do that, and then I could still have time to find a job that's actually going to provide for my family. That's all I thought. So I jumped on board. My first check was decent. It more than paid for what it cost me to get into the business. So it was probably about $500 some. And I cashed it. I didn't pay off anything because I'm like, well, that's my grocery money for next month. Nobody's touching it. I'll pay off the credit card in the future kind of thing. And just continued thinking I was going to look for a job. And crazy enough, it's been almost 11 years now. 11 years in September. I never went back to work. I've had the privilege of being a stay-at-home mommy to these little beasties that torture me, and I love them, but they're teenagers now. So teenagers are just such a gift and so fantastic, all wrapped up in one. It's kind of an interesting thing. But we've absolutely changed the whole course of our family from, they always have fruit in the house, I'll tell you that for sure. And we've been able to travel all over the United States, which is something before I got into this industry, I've been in 4 states, which I never even considered. And now I've been all over this beautiful nation that's really gorgeous. And with that, I fell in love with some different places. So I actually moved from California to Alabama about a year ago now, which I know is crazy. I like Southern California. And I'm just so grateful to be out of some of the crazy and in different kinds of crazy, but it's been great. And we've been able to, we just got back from an almost 10-day trip to Costa Rica. Wasn't quite supposed to be that long, but we finagled some things and got stuck, and it was great. If you're gonna get stuck somewhere, I highly recommend get stuck in Costa Rica. Because it was really fantastic, and they have great coffee. But just the experience experiences that I've been able to create with my kids where now I can say things to them like, my daughter's like, I don't know if I really want to. And I'm like, well, just try it, right? Just try it. She's not sure she was going to college. I'm like, you decide to go, I'll decide to pay, right? Which was not an opportunity for me when I was young. Like, if you decide to go, well, good luck, right? Like, save up your pennies, like that kind of thing. And so just all of that has come from here. And recently, I'm like, I don't know if you're going to put it up there, but recently we had the gift of, one of the things that this company does for you is it helps you be smarter than you want to be. So sometimes I can be a spender more than a saver. And a little bit of money can get into my pocket, and I want to.
Oh,
we gonna talk about
God. Yeah, it'll be a slide later on.
So should I not?
Yeah, no, go ahead and tell it now.
Okay, I'm
But there'll be a slide later to make everybody
Okay,
understand.
so one of the things that the company does here is that they have something called a savings bonus. So every time you earn some amount, I'm not a numbers person, so I don't know, like you earn something and you earn something else on top of it, right? It's like a matching bonus. I don't know, they'll talk about the specifics, but I'll tell you, recently there was a chunk of change in there. So when you get to $10,000, they hand it to you. So they save it. It's not your money that they save. It's like you earned your money, you get paid on that money, and they pay you on top of it. And they just put it in this little bucket for you. And so one of the best moments I have to say was we landed in Nashville, like at midnight, got up the next morning, it was a Friday, and I've got my mentor texting me, did you check your back office yet? Did you check your check? And I'm like, no, it's like 7 in the morning. I just flew across like the world, like no. And he's like, check your balance. And I look in there. And the reason he was all excited was because I did earn that $10,000. So I got home from Costa Rica, trip with my babies, completely paid for by the company, to a $10,000 check. So if you're gonna do this, like get started from the coaching.
No, that's great. I mean, I think sometimes when you get excited, you just being natural. We don't have to get pre-planned, so we're just kind of ad-libbing as we go. How many of you think the world's changed?
Yes.
How many think the world's changed the way we do business?
Yes.
If you don't, you're either in, I don't know where you live. Because let's face it, I mean, 15 years ago, I didn't know what Amazon was, or an Amazon, I thought it was a river. Walmart. Think about that a second. Now I have this thing, I mean, I'm all for it. My wife says, do you buy everything off of Amazon? Because the UPS guy thinks you're an owner in Amazon. I can't help myself. I'm like, let's buy that. Why? Because it's you can do it from your phone. And now our industry's changed so much since I've been a part of it. I mean, I used to make payphone calls, and now we got the cell phone business. Now we have, my wife doesn't even know what an app is, but we have apps on our phones that can connect us with the company. So if you're a part of our business, there's so much information, and that's going to be taken to another level. Coach Palmer's going to talk about that later, about what things that are coming up and some systems that are happening. But let's just talk a little bit about the company. Guys, if you're going to be a part of something, if there's one thing I've learned is that you can't be a one-trick pony show, meaning that you've got to have an array of things. I didn't see that when I joined this company. I didn't really understand that much of this industry. I was with a company for 12 years. And it was great. I made a lot of money, but it wasn't something set up to go long term. And the way this company is designed is basically, if you're going to build a residual income, you better be with a company that's designed for the long haul. We're a publicly traded company on the New York Stock Exchange. That's a good sign. But the other side of it is you got to have things people are passionate about. And I didn't see that because in the beginning, it was all about what's my paycheck, not about the residual. So if we go here, I want you to understand that New Age, and we're only going to hit on a few things here. The New Age is a 360 degree of health. Now, oddly enough, that was the furthest thing from my mind. It's amazing how as you get older, that becomes a very important part of your life, right? As you're younger, you don't think as much about it. As you get older, health becomes a major issue. But we have many products that we're not going to talk about. As a matter of fact, who said, I love them all. That's what you said, right? I love all of these things. My daughter's like, I just take so many different things because they make me feel so good. And we're going to just hit on just a couple. And I'm going to tell you, there's going to be a particular product we're going to talk about, even though I've already had my probiotic this morning, I've already had my boa this morning, I've already had some noni this morning, I've already had some Lumen 5X this morning. I travel with everything because I just know what it's doing for my body. It's not important. But you understand the science. See, this is the part that's kind of crazy. I'm going to go a little bit further in detail here. remember I told you my daughter's a trainer, so she's into nutrition in an extreme way. Extreme way. That's an understatement. So 9 years ago, when I joined this company and I brought this box of nutritional products and said, this is what I'm going to do, she started laughing. Because she's like, you are the most unhealthy person that I've known for the last 25 years. Dad. So she's 25. So the reason I'm bringing that to your attention is that she took my products, left with them, and said, you have no idea what you have your hands on. Because see, she knew products. And she started studying these products. And she said, Dad, you don't even realize what you got. But the reason I didn't know till later, she took them, she's like, there's so many bad stuff on the market, that's why some stuff might kill you. So she just was afraid for me to even take them because it was a weight loss product. She's like, look, you weigh 308 pounds, you know some kind of weight loss, but I don't know anything about it. But here's the reason these products are so amazing, is the group of people, by the way, I didn't realize my daughter. So the diagnose, I mean, my goodness, it's crazy. I mean, one thing I talked about already, of all people I dreamed about last night, yeah.
You're live.
Has written multiple bestseller books. And probably the best one is, I read it. I mean, of all things, I'm not a guy that likes to read. But when you start learning about your health and you be learning about the products, my wife will tell you the only reason I read is because she thought it could make me some more money. So I learned about the product. So it's what your doctor hasn't told you about nutrition will make you. And what I didn't know was your body will heal itself. Your products aren't healing. Your body's healing itself because it's been given the right things. But here's the thing about it. There's so many certifications that make these products special. And I'll go another step. I've yet to find a company that has this many certifications. If you find me one, I'd love to know about it. There's not companies that have that many certifications. And my daughter talks about one in particular, USP. It's probably not even on here. I don't even know what USP stood for. The United States Pharmacopoeia. Because in the United States, we don't regulate nutritional products. But our company pays somebody, third party, to test our products. So the United States Pharmacopoeia, she says, it's a major deal. And so many product brands that we consider competitors are banned in other countries. Yet in the U.S., we allow them to be sold. That's a major deal. So as we go here, we're going to get to my favorite product. I had basically, because of my residual income, pretty much decided to retire. I had told pretty much everybody last July, I'm going to stop working. And in October, the company, that's going to be my last big event. And
bought a boat.
and used to stand call with you. Yeah. Yeah, it's 2 days from energy. Remember I told y'all I was all about the money too? Guys, if you got something nobody else has, it's patented and it is an amazing product. And when they told me what all I was going to do, I'm like, no way something could be this good. You feel the same way about your news?
Oh my gosh. So I've been involved, you guys heard, almost 11 years. I love all of our products. I use our shampoo, I brush my teeth with everything. I mean, like I use not everything, really, the toothpaste. I use everything that we have to offer. This is the first product that I went, oh my gosh, like you feel it right away. You know, like a lot of times, I don't know about you guys, I take vitamins because of my future. Right? I don't know if it's gonna make me healthier today. I don't know if I'm gonna feel it today, but I think, 6-year-old and 8-year-old and 120-year-old Andrea is gonna be really glad that I took Manali today. Right? But Renew, I take because Andrea is happy about it today. Like you feel it, Amy, it's fantastic. So if you haven't tried it, it's who can try Renew?
Oh.
There they are.
They're ready to come out of the gate.
Both of you. Go. Both of you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Renew. What I can say about the product before we start taking it, I'm 51 young and you're 56. Young, okay. But during your younger years, 20s and 30s, you're more active and everything. Well, first of all, let me get this out of the way. we don't treat, cure, diagnose anything. But I used to have back pain a lot at night, and I used to wake up at 2 a.m. in the morning. and excruciating pain from a car accident. And I noticed that after I took it, after I stopped taking it, renewed, probably about 3 or 4 days, my back. 3 or 4 days, I started noticing my back wasn't hurting as much. And that was awesome because I didn't have a good quality of sleep. And I slept like a baby, you know, that kind of sleep where you're drooling, you flip the pillow. Well, that's the kind of sleep you have on you. But the best part, you see that right there? Before that, for about 4 ounces.
4 ounces of
4 ounces
water.
of water, stir, or use a little bowl like I used to shake it up 30 minutes before bed, drink it. Why should go? Like I said, we were young.
Hot lava.
That's my story. That's all I'm sticking to. Get you some renewed. Don't believe me, get the renewed.
You want to say anything?
Well, let me tell you, is this product here, I'm just gonna go back a little bit. After retirement, I had the, what they call erectile dysfunction. And let me tell you, it went on for a while. We don't cure, treat, diagnose it. But let me tell you what this renew in the bedroom, in the erectile dysfunction. Let me tell you, you don't get any other product. Make sure you get you some reviews and light that bedroom up. You feel like in your 20s again. The funny part is we do a men's call only. And if you think he was talking today, you should hear him on Tuesday night. He had deep blush. Anyway, I want Andrew to finish what she was going to say about that.
Well, I was just gonna say, it can create a variety of connections. So I'll tell you, so I'll tell you what I love about Renew is the connection that I've had with my little family. So I don't know if anybody is overwhelmed sometimes with life, maybe a little bit stressed out and not have the best mood, right? So you can be just a little bit short-tempered. I mean, I'm a doll, not painting the best picture right now, but can feel a little anxiety. And I'll tell you what this has done for me is within, like, I take this within 30 minutes, my mood is incredible. Like, that's our fun time at night. I'll bring the kids in, we'll chit chat, we'll, have questions. It's like connection time because mom is in the best mood that she's going to be in for the entire day. And then I will go to bed and I will sleep all night. Like, I used to sleep like a baby, different than you're talking about. Like up every 2 hours, whining, like not that kind of baby. I sleep all night. Like, I'm 46. It's been a minute since that's happened. Like, fantastic. And I wake up the next day and I'm ready to go. Like, I don't care when the alarm's set for. I'm probably going to beat it and feel fantastic. So it helps with mood and other things as well. So love that.
I think we should also mention, because we didn't even bring it up. If you notice it, everybody talked about the weight loss stories, which is great. I talked about our change, and Melissa lost over 100 pounds. And that used to be the key that they talked about. And it's a great story. But let's face it, I believe Renew has not been forgotten that they lost 100 pounds. And that's when you know a product is good with something that was the most important thing in your life, and lost 100 pounds is what Renew has done to change. I don't know why it works. I know that I want to make sure you understand HGH is what it makes your body reproduce. Human growth hormones. I'm like, what is? I didn't even know what it was. But I'd heard about it because athletes get in trouble for them, right? But they're injecting synthetic ones for performance purposes. I think Lance Armstrong was one of those who got in trouble for that. Here's what I want you to understand. Our product does not have HGH in it. Our product makes your body reproduce it naturally. Meaning, it's important for my daughter because she works with athletes. And those athletes are not going to test incorrectly. So performance athletic, we're talking about everybody here talking their age and older. My goodness, my daughter is an athlete. I mean, she rides a bicycle 60 miles for just getting ready to do something. Literally, she rode 62 miles an hour after working out. So, but she says this makes her performance levels have, because she tracks your oxygen count, she's extremist. And she's like, this renewed, I've never taken a product that's done what this has done for me athletically speaking. So it's not, why is that the case? It's because it is literally reversing your aging. It is, and it does. She talks about the mood. I mean, it really is a mood enhancer. That's why I got 2 on 2 a day. So the upside is this. Is a medical doctor. He talks about what this does, and he tells me why it does it. He knows all. He knows why it works. I don't know about these enzymes. I know what a pituitary gland is. I don't know where it's located. And I tell you this, I know that it's what makes you growth hormone. I didn't know that until I got to learn about this product. I'm not that medical guy. But I know this, every person that I've had try Renew calls me back and says something. First thing they say is, I slept like a baby. Then they'll say, my energy feels better. And then they always, you know, they go in this little other area. Oh yeah, that's one of the first things I did notice. Go to the next slide, Todd. Let's talk about some other products. We could stay on Renew, I could, till tomorrow and talk about it. It is literally, excuse me. Oh yeah, it's a patented product, 17 patents. And here's the cool part, this product's gonna sell around the world. And this already is. It's crazy what I believe this product will do. I personally believe this product alone will double the size of the company.
Yes.
In the next year, maybe even more than double, just on that one product. And I felt equally as excited about another product I've been using for multiple years called MOA. Now, MOA is a 36 superfood drink. How many people here have a MOA story?
Yes.
Come on, I can't see through the glare because there's one. I mean, you got a weight loss story too, so if you're hosting this, why don't you come up and tell us your story? That's why I would have to wear. That's why I would have to wear about that.
I just was laughing so hard what you're saying. It's just so great. My mower story is very quick. I work out every day. I lost 61 pounds.
Say that again.
I lost 61 pounds.
61 pounds.
Great job.
I have a lot of people, you know, that I've been watching and kind of emulating. But my MOA story is this. I was working in the yard, and you know how it is when you're out there in the heat, you swell up. And I went in and tried to put my flip-flops on for my sneakers, and my feet wouldn't go in flip-flops. Again, we don't, you know, we're not attesting to anyone else's story. It's just my story. 15 minutes later, I slid my foot into my flip-flop. I mean, it was that fast. And it's wonderful because it also helps with your energy level and your hunger pains and all of that. So I love MOA. Yeah. My grandson is dating a girl whose mother or grandmother is 84 years old. And we bought an extra box for her because of what was going on with her UTI. And her numbers have come up tremendously since she started her MOA. So that's my story.
But that's a great story. This is coming from the heart. She just didn't know I was going to call on her about that. And my mom was 96 when she passed away. And she drank her MOA every day. And if she didn't take it, she would call you and let you know she's running out of it. And she was not going to miss her MOA. So the thing about it, this 36 superfoods, my daughter was doing all this stuff about the shiitake mushroom and the shiitake mushrooms. I can show you Linda, lady in the top left. Look at that. That is not an injury. You can see that ankle. That is 2 weeks apart. The inflammation in her ankle, she's type 2 diabetic, and Linda had all kinds of problems, and she had swelling in her ankles. And guess what? The MOA has made such a dramatic difference in her life. And I'm not going to tell you every person's story will be the same because everybody's body reacts differently. But these mushrooms, if you do some research on them, you'll be so impressed by the research and studies that have been done on the mushrooms alone. And I mean, we've all heard about it. We should go down all this. Turmeric, mangosteen, we know about all these different things. They're all put into one product at clinical study dosages, and they have a patented preservative called Natrix. Why is that so important? Because you don't get something negative with it. So many products have a preservative, and theirs does not because of the way it's designed. But anyway, MOA, it was what we would call our flagship product. it really is an amazing product. But the thing about it is that, I believe Review is going to become that flagship. If it hadn't already, it's close to doing it. Now we're going to talk about probably one of my favorite products. I never miss a day without Rejuvenex. I talked about, it was my favorite. Review is now. But Rejuvenex, energy product, guys, I could never drink Red Bull or a Monster. I'm already a hyper kind of person. If I drink one of those energy drinks, it makes my heart race. And I don't think that's good for you. If your body's jerking from that much caffeine stuff, that's not a good thing. And so this Rejuvenex, my wife and I both start our morning with 4 every day. It's not a matter of yield, it's a matter of we take them at different times. I drink 1 cup of coffee, take 4 Rejuvenex. And it just gives, I get more accomplished. I don't know what else to call it. Very focused. Theanine does that. I mean, we can talk about what all causes it. The green coffee being extract is about like a cup of coffee from a caffeine standpoint. But I will just tell you, Rejuvenex is another product that Andrea mentioned with review. She noticed immediately. This is another one of those I noticed immediately. And the last product we're going to talk about today is going to be our drops. And guys, they're clinically studied with a double-blind placebo test. And that's we start talking weight loss stories. Everybody talking about the drops, but the drops are so much more. Do they not? I mean, Andrew, you talk. I'm not going to let you talk about the ladies talk about that. I'm sorry.
I said, this is perfect.
Because this is a good one to talk about the drops. Well, obviously, I went on the drops. That's how I dropped some weight, and it made a huge difference. It curbs my appetite, gave me energy, the B12 and biotin, and what's other drops. It's a system. I don't want to ever make it sound like there is no magic. I'm sorry. You watch these things on television. You see all these things. You drink this, and then what's the package? Run away. And there is no. I mean, it just doesn't. There's no such thing. There is no such thing about that. What we know is this: what these drops do is they help with liquid discipline. That's what all I would call it is nothing but the discipline. When you're on the drops, I find myself eating asparagus rather than cupcakes. And that's really odd for me since I hated asparagus, so I started these. The thing about this is it changes your taste buds. And why don't you talk about what they do for the ladies?
Well, what I love the most about the drops is that it all came from balancing hormones. So that's what they were designed for. They weren't designed for a weight loss product. They were just to help balance out your body. But what happens when you balance out your body, you lose weight. But the flip side of that is if you don't actually still take them because your body is still going to be balanced. So, I live with a 16-year-old. Think about the hormones of a 16-year-old female. She's a rail. So we could not afford for her to lose an ounce. But you bet your bottom dollar that she takes these drops because they help regulate her mood. They help regulate all the things that are going on in her body, and it can do that for all of us at any age. So if you think about, your skin, your hair, your sleep, your mood, it's all regulated by your hormones. And sometimes men can think, oh, well, the ladies. No, all human bodies are ruled by our hormones. So anything that we can do as a human to balance out our humans is going to help us with longevity and feeling better today.
And we're going to talk about one other superfood drink that's also really popular and people when we acquired and merged with another company called Lima. You're going to be much better to talk about this. Even though I drink it, I can't extract to say for coordinate.
You just say it really fast. Say it
Yeah, I
fast.
can't say no.
That's something that's really important to anything.
You can. I think you like that.
Oh, slow down. For me. Why don't you tell us what Gordon does and why you sold? This is really what got you the product that got you started in the industry.
Well, it is, and I'll tell you, I'm not a doctor, nor do I play one on TV. I did not start in this industry for this, but I'll tell you, I'm so grateful for it. Because what this allows your body to do. So again, it goes back to if you give your body what it needs, it can fix so much that we think, oh, you can't, you just have to live with, whatever. So the anti-inflammatory is, I have a personal story in our household for that. This with the whole COVID thing, I'll tell you the first thing that I did when we started hearing about all this, I sent my parents another case of Lean Original, make sure you're drinking this along with MOA. So I'm like, it's non-negotiable. You have to do both of them every single day. So it definitely helps with that. You can apply it topically. So if you've got a rash, you've got a burn, you've got something like that, you can absolutely put on there. But what I love about it is all the nutrients that are in there. So, I'm a mom, so you guys all know this. That's kind of all I talk about. But, a lot of, or if you Anyway, if you live with a human that struggles getting appropriate nutrition in their body for whatever reason, maybe they're picky, maybe they're a little ornery, whatever. You can give them just 2 shots of this and you know that their body is getting everything that it needs to be healthy. And that's one thing that we saw in our house. My daughter has junior idiopathic arthritis. So if you picture, just what does arthritis do? So you saw that foot in there, my daughter's ankles would be like that. So like picture a bean and then an ankle, a lot of pain, it's a rough go. We don't cure, treat, blah, 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 right? All I know is that we never medicated her. We just put the legal, we took it from the top shelf in our fridge and we put it in the bottom. And I said, whenever your ankles hurt, drink this. And she did. She drank a lot of it. She's been in remission for about 6 years now. And so I swear by it, like you're not allowed to go a day without leaving in our house. Like that's an offense that will get your phone taken away. Like it's a big deal in our household because that's how powerful it is and how strongly I believe in it.
I think what we're trying to say to everybody is different things work for different people in different ways. And I know this, so my wife had COVID and I was told about this, I think it'll help her. When I told her that it would help, she started drinking a glass full and she could tell the difference immediately. And then literally she started drinking it. Now she's a big drinker, I believe it. Here's the thing, when you decide what's best for you, simple as this, you'll start feeling like what works best for your body. So let's talk about the other side of the story. Guys, let's face it. I heard you Tubman on the call last Monday night talking about our economy. Anybody think inflation is bad?
Yes.
And how many of you know that I think our country's in a really bad place right now. We're not blaming anything. I'm just making a point that, I just know this one. I got a car out there, I put $112 with gas on the way down here. $112. Now, it was not completely empty.
Right.
So what I will tell you is that it's not just, fortunately, this business is, afforded me that it didn't matter. But I know a lot of families out there that right now buying $112 worth of gas is not something they can do, especially if you're driving back and forth to work. So when you start spending money, and Judy was telling me, she said, she came from the grocery store and she said, oh my goodness, she said, we don't drink milk, but our grandchildren do. So we end up pouring too much milk out. I'll just be honest, it goes bad. But she's always got a habit in the house with grandchildren. She said, you know what? The gallon of milk has doubled. And I'm thinking, well, I don't drink milk. Of course, then I was thinking, gas is $5, for the cheap stuff. I mean, can you believe I'm saying that? If you get, I have to run premium in my car. So if I'm getting it for $5, I did pretty good. If I was at $4.99, I was celebrating. My reason for bringing that up is that we have a country full of people that are needing an extra income stream. And so I want to talk to you just briefly about what Andrea said. She joined for grocery money, right? She joined for the grocery side of the money. And that's great. I didn't. I had just lost $8.5 million. So I was looking for an income stream. I was trying to replace a major income stream. So my purpose for joining this industry was different than Andrew's. But so many people right now in our world, in this United States, let's just say our locals, are looking for a way to supplement their income, not to supplement their body, which they need anyway, but they need to be healthier. But the other side, they need another source of income. I don't think I've ever seen a time, maybe 2008, when it was like this. I believe this is worse. That we've seen people needing. It's not that they have to have a lot of extra income, but remember what I said? What about an extra $500? I hate to say that, I'm getting 5 tanks of gas, right? So the point is, they're needing something different. And for $29.95, they can join our business. With a little extra effort, they can make that $500 a month or $1,000. What they decide is their decision. The good news is you pay $29.95 one time to get a distributorship. It's not like Sales Club where you got to pay that again next year. You pay $29.95 one time, get you a wholesale account. If you just want to buy products, you're not interested in making money, then you have a wholesale account. But if you're interested in making money, which was why I joined this industry, why Andrea joined this industry, not everybody joins for that reason. Many of my people join because they want to feel better. That's okay, whatever the reason. But the bottom line is you can put yourself in a position to earn an income or just get a discount on your products. How does that work? You activate your business. In order to activate it, if you're looking for an income stream, you need 200 volume points. Of what? Products. There's packages that are available. Obviously, this has become my favorite. 3 boxes are renewed because that's what lasts me about 2 weeks. Started. So I've she's not the event, so she didn't even hear all the talks about sexual libido and all these different things. So I just brought her home and told her she'd been having some headaches. And I said, 2 of these days will let it out. Y'all get the point? She had a headache for a long time. I'll tell you, it is a phenomenal. And every week, y'all don't, guys, y'all can join us for the men's college Tuesday night. We're really thinking about this stuff. And the other side of it is, most people in my business join. I've got so many 100-pound weight loss stories that join for what's called the transformation pack. You can pick. All you're looking to do is activate your business. When you get your business active in your commission eligible position, in order to earn commission, you'll need to use 100 points of product a month or sell 100 points of product. That's your choice. My family uses about 500 points of product personally. You do not go through at least 500 points of products every month. But we drink 6 boxes of oil a month. I have a reason for that, and I'll explain to you later. So here's how that works. You can spend $150 or 100 points, either one will get you there, on product. Sell it or buy it. And we're going to show some incentives, but I want you to understand there's ways to earn commissions here. We're not going to go into all the details about the commission because it gets complicated. But the first thing you want to know is simple. How many of you know 4 people that could use an extra income stream? Okay? Or need to feel better? 1 to 2. Could be both. As a matter of fact, probably 90% of the people who join my business because they want to feel better. Then the second side was they realized they wanted to build a business stream. Matter of fact, guy in Arkansas, Richard Tugwell, said to me, I'm not interested in the business. I'm not interested in the business. But he lost 105 pounds. He said, I ain't got any choice but to be interested in the business because everybody's asking me how I did that. So the thing about it is that when you start losing all this weight, people begin, in his case, want to know what he was doing. Now, he's fully active, working business very hard, shut down his real estate company because he loves what we're doing here, because he loves the fact that he's lost 100 pounds, feels like a different person. And Richard Hawkins is the same way. I mean, this guy went from a guy who didn't even walk to his mailbox, now running 4 or 5 miles a day. I'm not doing that, by the way, that's not happening to me, but I do like feeling better. Okay, I like to feel better. All we're going to do is help 4 people, and we're going to teach them to do the same thing. Sometimes we try to make this too complicated. Guys, if you know 4 people here that are motivated to feel better, and I'm going to tell you something that's just changed. This economy has changed their motivation to make more money. So you find 4 people, help them to repeat, and all we do is build an organization of people that do the same thing. And then the products speak for themselves. The difference is it's not like there's a single product. That's why I want to make it very clear with an array. The reason I'm excited about Renew is because it's the first time I've got something that nobody else has. Because I had to convince people that my product, my nutritional product was better than, and I can name off 100 companies. Guys, listen closely what I'm about to explain. There is no competition on Renew. No one has a product. This is patented. That's why they waited so long to get it out for us, because it took so long to get the patent in place. They had the product developed, and they've done all this testing, and it came back way better than they anticipated. This product is going to make this company a multi-billion-dollar company. I mean that. And it'll be funny because people will say, oh, really? You know, everybody says, okay. I've been to this picture show before. If you got something that nobody else has got, that's what's going to happen. You need to understand our business levels. I told you need 200 points to activate. That puts you in a 15% what's called a team lead bonus position on all your customers or your brand partners. There's a business level, which means you had 500 points. You can buy your way there or sell your way there. You get the first 30 days, 28 days to do that. Elite level is 1,000 points. And of course, everybody wants to get the ultimate. If you get the ultimate, you can do it in your first day, but you got to get there in your first 8 weeks. Why do you want to do that? Because it locks you in. I want you to listen, no requalifying. Once you're ultimate, they can't take it, they're not going to take it away from you. It's where a Baptist company. Once qualified, always qualified. So that's the bottom line, 15%. Okay? I'm not Baptist.
I was late on that.
You're always locked in. I guess that was kind of cool to go. Anyway, next slide, Todd.
I'm
I
trying.
want you to understand that gets your business started. And from there, the first thing you'll earn is like a team lead bonus. So let's just say I bring Ronnie into my business. And Ronnie decides I want a transformation pack. How much weight did you lose, Ronnie?
67 pounds.
67 pounds. He wants to lose some weight. That's what he starts out with. I need you to lose some weight. So Ronnie buys a transformation pack for me, and I'm ultimate. That's a 250 point pack. I made $75. Ronnie loses some weight, he decides he wants to sell a few people's products, then he's on my team. I made my team lead bonus because he joined my business. Because he bought product. Because he joined, paid $29.95. I got nothing. So from there, whatever he purchased and sold, I made a little money on it. Does that make sense? From there, as we build an organization, you get something called base pay. This is the part that gets you started. Base commission is what works off the team. As Andrew's building a team, it's amazing how my wife says it all the time. You really, really like people when you find out they're on your team and that they're building an organization because it helps. I said, yeah, but it pays us commission on it. So base commissions, this shows the level of three different lines. You can build as many as you want. We kind of suggest starting with 2. You get them established, but you can do it any way you want. There's no, your business, you decide. But when you start with an activated position, 200 points, you got 2 lines. Business level gives you 3 lines. Okay. An elite level gives you 4 lines. And ultimate level gives you what? 5 lines. Your choice. Build as with or depth. Your option. I would talk to somebody that's had some experience. If you already had experience, you decide what you want. But all you're going to realize is this: as you build volume or sales, you'll make base pay on the lesser of the. So one line has 1,000 points. The example it shows 2. So this one shows 2,000 points. You got 2 different lines here with 1,000 points, another 1,500 points. You'll be paid on 2,500 points. Everybody's looking for a catch. It's not a binary compensation plan. And that's what people think when they see it. We're not a binary type compensation plan. So it doesn't matter if there's 3,000 points on this line, and that's your biggest line, and there's 2,000 on the other 2. It doesn't matter. You still get paid on that 4,000 points as long as it's on the other 2 lines. Does that make sense? That's the part that's the basics of the comp plan. But I know for me, the reason I joined this company wasn't this part. Because I've done very well with another company. $2,000 a week in base commissions is what this starts out at. The reason I joined this business was because of something called match pay. Because if you're someone who's really worked this business, you understand the power of matching bonus. How does a matching bonus work? Well, I'm sponsored by Todd Roman. So every time I get paid, Todd can tell you what I got paid because he gets a 15% bonus on there. And I'm going to bring somebody up. He doesn't know it. But I know that when he's been around this industry a long time, it's done extremely well, better than extremely well, make millions of dollars. But it's okay if I bring you up. I mean, he's over looking at something else. But I know when he joined this company, one of the most exciting parts that he was interested in was this matching pay. So Coach Brett Palmer is going to talk to us about match pay. All right. So I was hello, everybody.
I'm not as, I don't have all the jokes and stuff that Chris does, but here's what I'll say about match pay. Go back to maybe the slide before, Coach Roman. Okay, so when we sit down in a conference center with Fred Cooper, Bart Wilson, and we were talking about bringing Limu over, we've taken Limu to about $100 million company. And the reason that we saw the value in RX and now New Age was they were doing something completely different than the industry had ever seen. Like a lot of people go, oh, there's companies in our industry that merge companies together. They're absolutely right. But the way that we're doing it, bringing companies in, allowing them to start to fill the culture, start to develop, and still be able to maintain their own compensation plan as they're coming together is very unique. And so when we were sitting at the conference table and we were talking about base pay, I was just like Chris. I'm like, well, this is great. I understand 15% of pay line volume, 15% of pay line volume. But I'm sitting there trying to find the gotchas. And I'm like, the power line you don't get paid on. Gotcha, there's tripwire. And so I'm just listening. And then he flips it to match pay. And when I saw that you absolutely in match pay get paid on all your lines of business. Here's the thing of building a networking business that sometimes is tough. When somebody that you put in that you care about, they enroll one person, or maybe they enroll 5 people, and 4 of the 5 really just start using the products and never build a business. But that one person takes off and runs. In most companies, because of balancing and qualifications, and you gotta have so many people sponsor on auto ship. You gotta go back to that person and go, look, I know you sponsored them. I know they're blowing it up. I know you're not making any money, but stay the course, stay the course. And it gets very tough to have that conversation with people that you care about. And when I saw match pay, as much as the excitement was for me and the possibilities of earning 15% on your first generation, 10% on your second of everybody, 5% on, all that was great for me, but it was even better for the organization and people that were to come. Because what they've created with this compensation plan and match pay is the ability to truly say, you're one person away from an explosion in your business. And what I've learned about this business is you never know where that explosion is going to come from. It could come from a person that you met at a hotel. It could come from somebody that you just had a conversation with today, or it could come from your best friend. You never know. But what match pay ensures is when you find that person, you're locked into them for life when you're at gold status. So you go, how do I get the match pay? How do I qualify for that? When you activate your account, you enroll four people at an activate level, which Chris told you, all right, of 200 points. And you're locked in at gold status for life. And what that does is just that says, everybody that I enroll, I'm going to make 15% off what they get paid for life. Everybody that they enroll, I get paid 10% of what they do for life on their paychecks. Everybody that those people enroll, I get paid 5% for life on their paychecks. And there's opportunities to unlock a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh level. But just that security of knowing, man, our people can come here and build freely. And if their people start going and earning money, they're going to be rewarded. It's something I can walk around with pride about in this compensation plan. Because if you don't know our industry, it's very tough to find that. And so this match pay was a big portion.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I might have Jerry, because Jerry hit that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jerry, you want to? Jerry's a true live story.
Yeah.
Where do you want me to pick up on that?
Yeah, just talk about working full time and hitting Kim and what's happened.
So, first of all, I've been in this company for quite a few years. And I've got a testimony on every product this company offers, either through my family or friends or whatever. But I'm like Chris, I didn't join for the products, I joined for the money. I've always been an entrepreneur, spirited person. And when Todd showed me this business years ago, I joined strictly because of the money. Now, I will tell you this, I got healthy in the process, just like you. So did my dad, several other folks in my family. My family alone lost over 380 pounds. So big testimonies there. But again, I joined for the money. And what I'll do before I get to Kim, talking about Kim real quick, tell you the power of what residual income has done for me. There was a time pretty early on, Todd, remember when I got a car wreck? Incapacitated, a couple of surgeries, a whole bunch of therapy, couldn't work, income went down, and I still got paid every Friday. I added it up. I've had close to 900 paychecks from this company. There's a lot of times I didn't earn it. Honest to God, I didn't earn it, but they paid me anyhow. That's what I like about residual income. So what residual income is doing for me now, my daughter is in University of Auburn right now. Thank God she got a partial academic scholarship. But 100% of my income from New Age takes care of all her bills and then some. It still allows us some vacation money. I think that's huge. If you need to give it a try. College is expensive. And college is not necessary. Actually, again, I talk about this, it's kind of necessary this day and time. But the other thing is, I've had more than one transition in my life. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This income was stable. Whether I left a job or whether I didn't get paid on a construction project or whatever, this income has always been stable. And you can bank and you can predict and you can project on stable income, no matter what level it is. Again, when I first started, it was that you mentioned $150 just paying for your product every month. Again, I've had close to 900 paychecks with this company. Not all of them had commas in them, but a bunch of them did. And it's been a blessing in my life. So, okay, so getting to where we're talking about a minute ago. So sharing is what this business is about. That's all it is. You're just sharing. You hope you have a personal testimony, but then you share. So I'm at a bank one day making a deposit, cover a bunch of bad checks I wrote on a construction project I was doing probably. And I was known in my little small town as the weight loss guy. We run several weight loss camps and stuff like that, had real good success. And so a lady in the bank asked me about the drops. So I'm telling her about it. And the girl behind the counter, skinny as a rail, had no interest whatsoever in weight loss products. She said she wanted to know, she asked me, she said, do you think that product will help my mom? Never met her. Absolutely, help your mom. Get me in front of her. She did. It was Kim Gray. Everybody in this room probably knows who Kim Gray is. I would have bet you the truck I drove to her house in that night, she wouldn't do this program. When I left there, I was positive that she wouldn't do this program. She couldn't afford it, number one. I mean, that's just God's truth, isn't it? She couldn't afford this program to start with. I was a little bit generous, helped her out to start with, and she's one of those people that you were just talking about that got it, that ran with it. She's the most consistent person I know. She's as close to me as a sister, and she has proven that not only did it work for her, but it'll create a line in your business that.
How many people in your organization because of her?
1,500. I would say the lion's share, 1,200 are probably on Kim's side. I've got reps in 4 continents. Pretty good. I don't know anybody in South Africa.
From a trailer in Evergreen.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And one thing I want to put out, because a lot of people, to add to this on Max Pay, they're not to dog companies in our industry, but there's a lot of compensation plans that Jerry would have had that conversation with Kim Gray's daughter, got Kim Gray involved. Kim Gray has went and exploded the business, turned into a tremendous leader.
And I had to say bye. She went on
and we would have to look at and said, keep working, keep the money's coming. And with Max Pay, he's getting paid every Friday.
Yeah.
Because, and he should, and that's the power of a fair compensation plan.
And it's the strong, that, to me, that's the strongest part of our compensation plan. And it's that when you start seeing match pay come in on a weekly basis, you're starting to stabilize your business at that point. That's when, hope you don't, but that's when you can go borrow money, knowing you got some income coming in. And again, I'll tell you that Ken Bailey says this best. When you first start in this industry, it might not pay you back for the effort that you put in. Then it gets to a point where it's paying you for the effort that you put in, and then it'll pay you it'll overpay you for effort that you're not putting in anymore. And so that's the beauty of it to me, because when you have that kind of freedom and that kind of stability, you can make decisions that a lot of people can't. I made a transition in my life recently, and had I not had this, we'd have a hard time paying my daughter's rent. Just telling you, without busting the savings bank egg. So that's what residual income will do for you. That good?
Well, you talked about my favorite topic, residual income. And Brent hit it so hard and so many people miss, that is that so many companies have that little asterisk or that little fine print. And I could name them, and I won't do that because it's not fair. But I mean, there's so much out there that'll say they'll pay you this or they'll do that. I'm gonna give an example about match pay, and I'm gonna finish up about that. And that is that a lot of times you don't realize is that the little asterisk is you'll receive match pay on this person unless they reach a certain time. You'll meet match pay unless they've surpassed that time. And we won't call the big ones names, but they'll say, "Oh, that they went through regs, we cut your commission." So there's not any of that here. And as a matter of fact, the time I looked at this company, I kept saying, "There's going to be a catch." I hate to say that. I was like, "There's going to be a catch." Couldn't find it. I was reading everything. Okay, 9 years later, I still ain't found it. The catch was it paid me more than I expected. And the catch is that the products were way better than I anticipated. I wasn't taking the products. That was not the interest to me. I just knew they would sell. So here's what I want you to know. So someone asked me about Aaron Decker. So I sponsored Aaron Decker. And Aaron Decker is become much bigger owner than me. He's much higher title than me. But let me assure you, I'm his biggest cheerleader.
So he's had some $8,000 base pay weeks.
That's right, he has an $8,000 base pay weeks. That's not an income payment. It's an actual fact that he's had weeks that he's made 8,000. What did that mean to me?
Matching back.
Matching pay.
15%.
But most people miss the fact, because what they say is you make 15% off this 8,000. Let me assure you, that's not where my matching pay, yeah, it was good. But the match pay is, if he's gonna make that kind of money, you realize how many people he has built to help make money? Because this company is designed for you helping someone else do well, not my phone's in my hand. So the bottom line is, I guess I was checking my match pay. I actually did. Anyway, the point I'm making is that on line 2, because you get 10%. See, we all think about that person you sponsor. I make more on line 2 off the people that he sponsored.
Which is about 300 people he's put in.
Yeah, he sponsored over 300 people. Some of them are CEO levels. Jane Butler, for example, is a perfect example. I can name off 4 or 5 people at the presidential level. The Okies. I mean, I can go down the list. See, and here's the thing. Brent mentioned it. You get 3 levels just for getting gold stacks. So this is what I want to make sure you're clear on how you collect the other part. 3 levels, no matter what, even if you don't have another leg bill, as long as you're gold. Okay? If you're not gold, talk to your sponsor about how to get there. Okay, if you pass your time, they'll run specials on this. But level 4, you must earn $500 in base pay. Level 5, $1,000 in base pay. Level 6, $2,000 in base pay. And I want you to look at this example. Okay? This was a slide that I built some time ago, man. It goes all the way back to my very first meeting. I just thought I wanted to understand it because so many people on the internet talk about the big, massive amount of money people's making. This shows match pay on people making $100 a week. Are you listening to me? We're not talking about somebody's talking about an Aaron Decker who's making $8,000. This is people making $100 a week. So if you got 4 of those people making $100, you're at $60 a base pay in residual. But if they get 4, they get to making 100. You're at 160. And if they do it, remember, gold status got you 3. So those are cumulative. 320 plus 160 plus 60. Guys, you're at $500 a week. Helping people become successful, and we're talking less than 100 people making $100 a week. If you don't think the economy's got people thinking right now making $100 a week, $200 a week, you're missing the boat. Right now, people are looking to make a couple $100 extra a week. This is going to be the most powerful part of our comp plan, coming with what's going on in our economy. But obviously, each one of these other generations, this is weekly match pay. Look at this. Those you add together. That's when you start understanding the power. And you won't see match pay early on. It's going to take time. I remember my daughter saying this to me. She said that she was making good money in base commissions, and she was getting her team lead bonuses, and she was making an income. Well, then she got some people making some money, hot chocolate, instant, so some people under her team started to make some money. What is this thing called fun? She just relied on me to take care of the compensation. She said, that's it, it's good comp plan, it's good. She's like, what is this thing called match pay? She had never done any comp plan. She's like, I like this part. I don't know where it's coming from. And I'm like, well, that's a good thing. She said, but it's not. And she said, I made her show me how to break it down and told her, this is a very powerful part. And Andrew, you didn't come back up, because that next slide is what we were planning for your.
Sorry.
You already brought up.
And I don't have your picture up.
No, don't be apologetic. This is great. This is great to know about the savings account. Shouldn't say this probably. Nothing wrong with a car program. I was with a company that I had a driveway full of Lexus, drove Lexus for years because they did Lexus. And someone 6 or 7 of them. Or did I really win it? You don't really win it, guys. I can tell you that. You earned it. You got a car that you signed for. And what they really did, and I don't mean to make stuff on you like those, that made you sign an agreement that says if you'll keep working, we'll keep paying out that car. So you kind of locked yourself into working hard. That's a good thing for you and them, really. And I was going to come, this is what you did. You had to hit certain levels. But I can promise you this, if you get that level, you got your car back. If you double that, you got your car back. If you quadruple that, Colorado, that might have done it with a requirement tenfold with some months, but you still got his car payment. So here, it's much fairer. So you can get, if you get $250 a week in base commission, they'll add 15% into that savings and put it, you call it the bucket. Isn't that what you call it? Why don't you talk about how that works?
Well, so I'll talk about 2 things. One, I'll talk about that car program, which because I have a car in my garage that's paid for by another company. My daughter's benefiting from that. And her first car gets to be a paid for BMW because that was provided for us. But we paid for it. Like they paid us, you paid for that car. And there was and I love it. I'm so grateful. I love that car. Her name is Walnut. But oh my God, you're probably- I named my car. But the difference in that is when things are tight, there's no choice there, right? There's no choice. So, yes, it's great that I have this cute little car and I love that car, but at different times you want that for groceries, right? And I saw something the other day where it's like the gas station, when you fill up the gas station, now it's like going to the grocery store, like what you pay for your weekly groceries. You go to the grocery store, it's kind of like what you pay at your monthly trip to Costco. You go to Costco, it's a mortgage payment. And like, I don't even think in Alabama mortgage payment, I think it's closer to like a California mortgage payment. Like there's a lot of money going out. And I don't know if the world right now needs more luxury cars. They need money in their account. And I just love that. Well, I love it even more now that I've got a minute. Like I sounded really great, but I love it now because one thing, so Kim Gray, we talked about Kim Gray. This is something that she taught me where she's like, okay, every Saturday morning you wake up and you go look at your base commission. If it's $250, well, then you get to do ding ding because you just earned 15% on top of that that's going into that savings line. I'm going to call it a bucket. Then the next level, you get to 500, and then you get that additional level in the comp plan with the base pay or with the match pay, excuse me. But I've always every Saturday morning we get $250, and that 15% is now somewhere else save free. So you can't go on Amazon, right? Like some of us might be guilty of buying a bunch of different stuff that maybe you don't need. It's just waiting there for you. And then once you hit that $10,000, like I will admit, I cried like a baby. That was a big deal for our family to have that. But now it gets to be even bigger because every single month, and it goes up to $2,000. So like you said, it's not capped at that 500 or 750 or whatever the car programs are. It goes all the way up to $2,000 and you get an extra fifth paycheck. So that's a huge deal for my household. I can't think of any household that think, I don't need an extra $2,000. Who would want that? That'd be horrible taxes, right? Nobody's going to turn that down. And I love that we have this waiting for us. It's huge.
This is exciting that you understand. It's up to 2,000. I forgot to say that. That's very good. So it's minimum. You have to make 250 base commission. You can start it in it, but here's the thing: you don't lose it if you don't make it next week. It just goes in and just continues up to as much as $2,000 a month. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is one of the things that since I've been in this industry that we're very excited about. That is when you're new in the company, anyone can go earn this. If you make $3,000 in commissions in your first 6 months, they're going to pay for your trip to Utah. Why do they want you to come to Utah? It's where the home office is. And we've been doing this for some time. We've been going out there. I mean, I tried to take the snowmobile and take the tree down with it. I'm surprised I pull that picture up. I still remember somebody saying, dude, see that thing. I thought I didn't realize it knocked me out. I said, I didn't knock that though. Oh, yeah, you were David Douglas. You're out cold. Jack, there's 20 below zero, so it really knocked out cold. But it was a great trip. We were doing this anyway, and the company decided to run a program where now instead of paying your own way or we had to run our own contest, the company's running contest. So if you go on a summer trip, you'll do some kind of boating, excursion, hiking, whatever it'll be. Winter trip, I'm sure it'll be snowmobile. Mark Wilson loves the snowmobile. I don't know why. It takes 100 people up there. Works itself to death getting some fun stuff. But the idea is that you will learn. You'll spend a day with excursion. But to me, the most important day you'll spend with corporate executives and the people there. And you'll have some of the top earners in the company teach you their systems. And so you say, well, I'm going to learn those systems here. You can. And there's no question you can call any of us to learn. There is nothing. I can't put a price tag on it. Why? Because your confidence, so I'm watching a football game on television. We're down south. I can promise you, watch Alabama play on TV before we're in Mississippi. It probably doesn't count here. If you're in Alabama, watch your TV is exciting. But I'll promise you, being present in an atmosphere of a big time college game it's different. I just mean that. So going to that home office, yes, you can learn from Todd one-on-one, but if you get up there and it's like kicking the tires. Does that make sense? It's like I've seen a Bentley, but I've never driven a Bentley. They don't want a Bentley. But if you go to that home office, you're going to get some confidence in what's going on with the company. Does that make any sense? You're gonna kind of see it's like the works of this thing. You'll see rep support. You'll see those corporate executives. You'll see these are real people in big office that running a major corporation. And it gives you a different attitude about the whole process. Does that make sense? It really does. I mean, I don't know how to explain it to you. I just know when I started this industry, I drove just to see the home office. Don't even know what I went for. I just needed to get, and that made a difference for me. And I just know the people that go experience Utah, they come back with it's almost like a light bulb went off in their head. Does that make sense to you? I don't know what else to say. It's just an experience I can't get to its point. The master class is what Tom is alluding to. They'll teach you how to build a business. And they won't paint smoke and mirrors, because sometimes in this business, we get people to say, guys, why would Kim Bailey says this? Why don't we celebrate the successes? Somebody said, well, my business is struggling. For those who don't know that, so did mine. See, when you hear me now, you think about what you hear the accolades and all the things I do business now, but you don't know those first 2 or 3 years when I was like, why is this not working for me? I can't find anybody that wants to work. I can't get anybody that wants what I want. I mean, I could give you all those things and me quitting, looking at myself in the mirror, and then starting back the next day because I didn't have why. I wish I could tell you I was really good at this. It's really not the case. I was hungry. I had no. I remember the movie Officer and Gentleman. Louis Gossett is spraying Richard Gere with a water hose. He says, why don't you quit? Why don't you quit, Mayo? And he says, I don't know where else to go. I was that guy. I lost my company. I was bankrupt. Where's I going to go make a big living? I had a job, but I wanted to go back where I'd been. And so going to Utah will get that confidence in you. And I don't mean it. It's a big thing for you. And it will get you over that hump. And for me, it was because I didn't have anywhere else to go, not because I was good at it. I was lucky that I didn't have something to fall back on. So many people have something they can fall back on. I had any skill levels. I've been in business myself for 18 years. There's nobody hiring me. So the thing I want you to understand is that Robert Kiyosaki, if you haven't read his books, I highly suggest reading some of his books. He recommends network marketing. Why does he do that? Here's the problem with network marketing. I'm going to tell you the honest truth. Too many bad companies. Too many companies come and go. Too many companies are built on a quick wheel, and they're not really intending to go long term. So we've got a company 10 years old, publicly traded, more products than you can even think about. The key is understanding that.
83 countries.
Yeah, 83 countries. So, I mean, the thing about it is, remember, how did Amazon start? Paperback books. Yeah. Think about that a second. Now, this company started with a handful of products. I still laugh about it when I started. I would never dream what we'd be 9 years later. What's the next 9 years going to be? I don't know. I can't answer that. I can tell you this. If it's anything like the first 9, I'm convinced the news will take it to a level that we can't even comprehend. Because I just think you've got something that's unique now. It's not just me trying to convince you to try something. It's like, you sample this thing a little bit, you're going to find something out. This stuff's amazing. But if you build yourself a residual income, Kerry just said that no matter what happens, somebody didn't pay you. This part, that check was there on Friday morning, every time. And the only thing I will warn you, it will do one thing to you. It has to be. Todd gives me this hard time on. It'll make you lazy when the checks get big enough. I don't have an alarm clock, and I don't get up early. Brett Palmer's up at the crack of dawn, exercising and doing coach's corner. I hate to tell him this, but most of the time I miss coach's corner because I ain't got up yet. That's why I don't go. I just will get this. That's early. 9 o'clock is early. If you're a residual-based income earner in network marketing, it's 9 o'clock is early.
Crack of dawn.
I'm trying to be very supportive of this new guy in our company. I mean, just met him and like, you do a call at 9 a.m. Dude, I have just in my 2nd cup. I'm up. I'm not showering. I'm dang sure I've been to the gym. So I don't do that part. But I'm on my 2nd cup of coffee at time. So I do try to get on. You'll notice I'm always don't have my wave like you always have. That's because I'm usually still in the day. So what does residual income do? It can make you very comfortable. I'll warn you, it will, because they've sent you money and he said you didn't deserve it. I don't feel that way. I feel like I paid my time. I worked hard. I did those things. And everybody says they want to be where you're at. They want to be where somebody's at. That means, do you really? You want to hear about what it took to get there? Is what you don't understand. You know? That's what my daughter says about the girls. That all of her girlfriends say, Kristen, I want my legs to look like you. She said, well, meet me at the show at 6 a.m. every day. We'll get them there. She said, the funny part is none of them show up. They just talk about it. Same thing here. Everybody wants to pick that up. Right? How bad though? That's the problem. In my case, I was fortunate. I had been stepped across that line once and made so much money that I did not want to go back to living that way. Let's be honest. Where it's just a different lifestyle, and I can't explain it. And the other thing I want you to understand is, you mentioned college. I wouldn't have always. Sometimes I don't have a college degree. Like I know Brent Todd did that just because they want to coach, so they went to college. They get Todd. What you say? You're in PE.
Kinesiology. Exercise science.
Being smart, what I did have was extreme drive, very focused. And when I saw something that would work, and I kept, actually in my case, I met this football coach who didn't look too sharp. Like he's making a lot of money, and I could do it. I could do it with my attitude. I ain't very sharp, but I'm very focused, especially in the early stages. The only thing wrong with the residual is you may lose a little focus. You has got to be refocused. First time, Tom knows that. He didn't see me back on the road traveling in a long time. And you want to be on the review. Not only that, you go to the train. I'm not talking about using it. You use it too, but you want to be on the review train. So guys, that's kind of my part for today. We're going to bring up Coach, I think. Coach Palmer's going to talk about some things that I want to say this, guys. Business, no matter what the business is, before I let Coach Palmer come up, I want to say this about business because I think a lot of times everything's about time, is it not?
Yeah.
I'm married because of time. I met my wife because I had a part-time job and a better mother was introduced. That's time. Everything has to do with a plan. God's plans are not always like your plans. You know what I'm saying? I wish He let me in what He has to plan sometimes. But I want you to understand that the really thing to understand is timing everything. When I was in the blue jean business, y'all remember acid wash blue jeans?
Yes.
Do you know anything?
I did hundreds of thousands of them. They made me millions of dollars because they had something that hit, and I figured out how to do it. And we were running them like crazy. Y'all remember the blue jeans with the black yarn in the background?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I did it. Truth, I could prove it. Express Limited came to me and said, we want holes in blue jeans, but we don't want them to be wore out. And I couldn't figure it. I figured it out how to do it. For anybody else, I didn't tell them how to do it. They get all figured out again. Tried to pack it, couldn't get it done. The reason I bring that up is it was time. I made $1 million on that deal. You is timing bomb. And what I'm convinced is about to happen in the next 18 months, I'm going to take you a bit more because you guys right now have come together that have all been so successful in this industry from different worlds, the known people. Coach Palmer, Coach Rowland, there's a group of people. I'm not going to talk about all names. People have put time into this. There's a lot of time being spent building an absolute system around the new program that I personally believe is going to explode this company. And I'm going to just kind of turn to Coach Palmer because we're all excited about what's coming, if that makes sense. For those of you out there on Zoom, guys, what's about to happen, the funny part is people will say, oh, they all say that. Mark this down. This product is what this company's been waiting on. Not that we didn't already have a great array. It made it difficult to convince because there's so many things to market. So you've got something nobody else has. What y'all saying? It's been a better mousetrap or something like that. They come up with something. So I'm going to turn this to Coach Palmer. He's going to talk about what's coming. And I want to know exactly what he's going to talk about personally. He's just going to talk to you about it.
Well, and here's what I'd like to do, since it's maybe share a few things, and then if we just got some Q&A, like just some questions about the company or what we're doing, or I love everything about what we got going on. What a lot of people don't know, maybe watching in or here, is I didn't know Chris as much. I knew about what they had done in their previous company, but I've known Todd Rowland for a long time before we ever came to RX and now New Age. And we've spent some time together. I've watched him grow a phenomenal business in the industry. And so and then I come here and I meet Chris and other leaders and people like Jerry and others that you start realizing birds of a feather flock together. And it's really unique. We got an amazing company with an amazing product line that's got an amazing compensation plan. But with all that being said, there's got to be a third piece. Like there's got to be this relationship thing between the executives, but also the field leaders. And we've got this company that is in movement right now that almost is blurring the lines of sponsorship and saying, you know what, we're just going to go help build the company. Let's go build the tallest building in town. Not worry about whose team you're on or what this person's doing. But what if we just loved on each other, led with love, and went out and helped everybody for the betterment of the company? And that's what's emerging. That's the exciting thing. And that hopefully is what you're getting, because here's what I think you need. And I'm going to share something with you in a minute. But self-actualization of where we're at in the world today. And what I mean by that is several years back, I was in St. Augustine, Florida, and I was building a business there. And you know how sometimes you get called to go speak, kind of like we are today. By the way, this is a beautiful place right here. I was in St. Augustine. I got called to speak, and I showed up to this home, and it was probably a $3, $4, $5 million home in St. Augustine. Beautiful, beautiful place. A lot like this right here. I went in, and I'm in there talking, and he's okay with me sharing this, but Larry had some ties with the Navy. Larry also owned the arena football team. And the whole time I'm in there, I'm judging, right? I'm judging. This is back 2012. I'm judging why in the world am I in here talking about a network marketing company in a $4 million home. And so I'm a little timid when I'm in front of the room dealing with people. And I can feel it, you know, like I don't know if I need to say all this. You know, is $500 a month really big when you're in a $4 million home? It's $1,000 a month. And then I leave out of there and I start walking to the car, and Larry's following me. And as I get to my car, he grabs me and he said, "Hey, I need this." And he's the owner of the home. And he said, remember now, at that time, we were coming out of 08, 09. We were coming out of a tough time in the world. And he said, revenue has hit the arena football team. Things have happened. And when you talked about making an extra $1,000 a month, he said, I want to remind you of something. No matter how much money you make, an extra $1,000, $2,000 a month helps somewhere in that month-to-month spending. And I'll never forget that. And so we're sitting here today, and self-actualization of going, where are we at in the world today, is really big in this scenario of timing to move with New Age, in my opinion. Because we've watched this show before. We watched where the world is today. And we watched what happened in 08, 09. And some of us has heard stories about the Great Depression. And this is not a doom and gloom, but with inflation rising, the possibility of recession that they just hadn't announced, gas prices where it's at. I heard the other day the border, and again, it's not, but there's probably more people that came in through this border issue that's like the size of Arizona, the amount of people. And so I'm going, what does that mean? Where are you going, Brent? I believe there's a mass amount of people out there in the world today that don't even realize that they need another stream of income yet, but it's starting to trickle into their mind. They're starting to see it on the news. They're starting to hear about it. And I've lived that story before. And what that story looks like is being in this home when people really start realizing it, and they will travel for miles around to come into this home and hear about an opportunity of a chance to drive another income stream. And there's bankers in town, there's lawyers in town, there's doctors in town, they're all in the home, just like this, going, we need this, and we've got a whole bunch of people that need this. And for somebody that's really willing to go, man, I need to have some self-actualization right now where we're at, because I could be on the cusp, right here on the edge of something really special. If I'm willing to dig my heels in, and drive this thing in my community and in my state and let it get tentacles of branching outside my state into other states. But you got to go to work now. And I believe what you got to have. And as I'm listening today, I'll be honest, this is God led, because I was trying to think, like, what do I say to that? You know, I'm here, what do I say? Well, the first thing I wrote down is, I got to have self-actualization that, man, if I can, I'm on a passion right now of coaching people to find ways to earn more money, find ways to spend less, and find ways to invest the rest of the money that's left over. And man, if we could teach that concept right now, where we're at in the world, people won't have to file bankruptcy in a year, 2 years, 3 years when things get tough, because the storms come. But what I got to have right now to dig my heels in, if I realize that, I go, okay, I'm going, is I got to get belief in the company. And that's why being on a Zoom this morning, listening into this, or being in this room right now, traveling, you know, some of you 2, 3, 4 hours to get here. The belief in what we're doing. Chris Doyle has made millions of dollars in the blue jean industry, like tens of millions of dollars. But he watched it go crumbling down with NAFTA. We all remember that. He found this industry and he built it back. And now he's here today excited because he sees this playing out again. But the belief in what we got, the reason this is so big is because, sorry, that's a previous boat trip I was on. Okay. So, the reason this is so big on belief is we got to realize we got the best products in the world. We're in 85 countries. We've got a company that's created this compensation plan, that's partnered with the leaders in the company, and then the leaders has decided we're going to all go work together. Unique in our industry, not to be cliquish or to go, I'm not working with Ronnie because he's not on my team and he does not make me any money. That's not our company. So I believe we build an empire by loving on people and leading with love and helping each other out. So the belief's strong when you come to something like this. We got an event in Orlando, Florida, coming up next month. And I believe that if somebody realizes where we're at in the world, and somebody's watching in right now on the Zoom, or they're here in this house, it's one of those, I got to make that true. Is it going to be a financial? Yes. Got to figure out a way to be there. Because I believe what we got coming out of that event, somebody that wants to be on the ground floor of a movement is going to see owners come together of this company. They're going to see systems come together in this company. They're going to see leadership explode in this company, working together, and it's all going to be right there in Orlando, Florida. So August the 25th, 26th, I think, right around in there. We'll get you the dates because I just lost it in my head. I think it's the 26th to the 28th.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And if you need help getting there, talk to Todd, talk to me, talk to Chris. We want you there. Because we know what's going to be laid out at the end in the timing of the thing. But right now, what I really want to talk about is I'm not going to go through this totally, but I'll work with Todd on it. Is I built my entire business on the 4-base method. And I didn't come up with this. It was taught to me. It's been handed down in our industry for years and years. But I believe to do something in Gulfport, Mississippi, or Florence, Alabama, where I'm from, or anywhere else, I gotta get that belief. I gotta get the drive. I gotta have that want to. And it's just me deciding, like, where I'm at right now, is it enough? And if the answer is no, then go let this be another income stream for you. And you go, okay, I need it, I want it. You know, you're having that internal talk with yourself. Then it's like, okay, let's go fill the pipeline up with people. And guys, I can't tell you in my years of doing this industry, how many times I've had to go have that internal talk with myself. How many of you's built teams, and then you know what it takes to build a team, and you're dealing with a lot of personalities, and you're like, Chris said it, I just kind of went on retirement. I'm just collecting residual. But then there's times where you got to go have that talk, and you go, okay, it's time to go build again. It's time to go make that leap again. Like, so what I got to do? I got to go back to day one. I got to go back to the blocking and tackling of the business. It doesn't change. Like, that's what I love about the business. You don't have to be very smart. Like, 2 football coaches can do this because it's simple. It's so simple an 8-year-old can do it. But we try as humans to complicate this thing and make it a bigger deal than what it is. And so, if I were you watching this today, here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I would challenge you to do, is start to fill the pipeline. Start to fill and start getting people moving around the bases. And I'm going to tell you how to do it at the end. But think about this. First base is just piquing people's interest in what we're doing. That means I'm starting, Todd says it's the best. Todd Rowland says it's the best. Don't mess this thing up by you trying to say everything. Because we help each other, right? So all you got to say is, and Todd leverages me today, or he leverages Chris like we leverage each other. So to be able to go to people in Gulfport, Mississippi and go, I got my hands on something. Like, I'm excited. Me and you, we talk a lot about this or that. I want to get you on the phone with somebody. When's good, today or tomorrow? Let's get on the phone. I got something I want to share with you. Like, how could you do that? Yes or no? Like I didn't have to talk about product. I didn't have to talk about making money. Like, I just got something. I'm just piquing their interest, just an invitation to look. The person that how many of us have sit around and worried about money before? Now, I'm going to talk to you a different side. I'm not talking to you about losing weight. I'm not talking to you about product. I'm talking about the person that's sitting around that's worried about paycheck to paycheck, or worried about, because Fox News said this. I'm like, oh my God, is inflation climbing? Like, what's going on? There's a whole world of people out there that's that. I got to say this. One of my best friends is a broker. We share an office together. He's been in business over 30 years. He said in 30 years, he said, I've never seen a time like today that I have so many people that I have money for them in their accounts that are calling me and coming to my office. People from all walks of life going, I'm worried that my money's not coming back at the market. I'm worried that, and they're at retirement age. So here's what I'm trying to say. People are worrying about it. So to be able to say, hey, I got something, I'm excited about something, I want to put you in contact with somebody, and just link arms, lock arms with somebody, and start having communication with people. Start sharing your story with people. You go, what's my story? Why are you doing this? Like I see all kinds of people that are doing this because of the transformation in the products. But I don't believe that is what's driving them to want to show up to trainings or show up to this. Like, they also like making income with this, if they're honest and they're truly having that talk with themselves. So start filling up the basis with getting people. So by Monday, as simple as it seems, I'd have a top 10 list. of positive, motivated, driven people in my community that next week I could run out of the gate here and start putting them on first base by going, listen, we need to get on the phone. I think you're a sharp person. You're a go-getter. I want to get you on the phone with a buddy of mine. I want to talk to you about what we're doing with this company. Well, what is it? That's what the phone call's about. Like, I don't give it away. I hold it in because I'm gonna get them on the phone with someone. And then here's the thing, second base, so I get my win with filling up that. How many of you could do that if you really wanted to? If I could promise you on the other side of that is making thousands of dollars, you do it. Problem is the belief might not be high enough right now to get you on the other side of it, but it's there. And then second base is, that's where we're on the phone. We're sharing stories. Jerry gets me on the phone with a banker, and me and him and the banker's just having just a, yeah, here's what I'm excited about. Here's what I'm excited about. Well, what about the products? Well, here's what happened to me. Here's what happened. And this is just, we're in the South, so we're in the country, right? I live in Alabama, so this conversation, second base, is just two dudes sitting around talking about a Remington shotgun. That's really what it is. How's that shoot? Good. Don't even, hey, it ejects good. We're sitting around talking. We're just having a good conversation in second base. And then third base, once I get them and I share the story, I get to the end of it, I got to look at these people and go, listen, Andrew, me and you could do this business. This thing is not, it's not any massive amount of money, but it is massive what we could turn this thing into. We could blow this thing up in Gulfport, Mississippi. I believe people want to follow a winner that's going somewhere. If I'm sitting around going, like, if I got in front of my football team when I used to be a head football coach, I'm like, you know, guys, I think we can win tonight. I don't know. Those guys are big. They come in on the bus, saw them. They're like, we might do this. You know, if you'll get your stance, don't, you know. Those players would look at me like, are you, wow. But that's how we sometimes talk when we get to third base. And it's like, I got to have the ability to look at that person and go, listen, me and you, we could absolutely kill this thing here in Gulfport. We could make a ton of money together. There's people looking. Will you do this with me? And they're like, people want to be invited. It happened all the way from when we were kids in school. Like, you didn't want to be picked last. You wanted to be picked first. I want you on my team. And they're like, oh, okay, man, I'm excited, right? People want to be picked. They want to be told. So I got to look at people and say, do this with me. Extend my hand, shake their hand and do it. And that's moving people around. And here's the thing. People show up for trainings and they get on at Zooms and they watch all day long. Why is the four bases big for me? Because Brent Palmer knows if last week I was doing this. Jerry Hossey knows, like, he can complain, he can do all this, but one thing he can know internally is if he's moving people around the bases. And if the answer is no, then he's getting further and further away from the blocking and tackling of what makes our industry so special. And it separates people that make a lot of money and people that are just kind of tourists in our industry, just trying to get there, but they never can figure it out. This is the key. If I'm willing to just move people around in a casual atmosphere, but when I get on the third base, I got to extend the hand and go, I want you on my team. Will you do this with me? Let's get started. And why that's such a big deal today is more and more people in Gulfport, in Florence, Alabama, in Nebraska, no matter where you're from, are going to be looking for another stream of income. We've seen this movie over and over and over, and we're sitting right here. That's why August is such a big deal in Orlando, Florida. So in saying that, I'm going to leave this up here, but I want to I want to talk about Renew for a second, okay? And I'm not going to give it away, but we're launching something in Orlando with Renew. But I will leave the basics of it, Coach.
Okay.
We can just leave those 4 basics. Have you got a box of Renew?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I should have asked before I came up. So here is one of the things I would recommend doing. I love all of our products. I use all of our products. But let me ask you this. Let's go psychologically right now. Why does people drive Ubers, Lyft, they do Etsy, they do all these little niches on the side to make extra income? Like, but what's driving them there?
Quick money.
Quick money.
Easy money.
Easy money.
It's a little fear.
If a little fear where the world is. There's a big link here if we'll pay attention to it. So we're in an event in Las Vegas, and it wasn't that long ago, and there's a lady that earns about $1 million a month in our industry. And she starts talking about quick money. People want quick money. They want it today. That's why you drive Uber. That's why you drive Lyft. It's because you drive somebody from point A to point B, and then it hits your bank account tomorrow from those services. Right? It pays daily. We live in a world today where Cash Out, PayPal, Venmo, other services, they pay you daily. If you can get somebody to pay you through those, they'll pay you. I mean, they'll be in your bank account tomorrow. So here's what I would tell you to do. This is what I would recommend. Leading you into Orlando, Florida. If you really want to take this big, and you know we're all going to lock arms with you and help you, no matter what team you're on, then you go figure out, go get you a Cash Out or a PayPal or a Venmo. Just sign up for it. It's free. You know, it is the way people are paying for things today. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
I mean, you own your own business. I mean, people want to pay with PayPal. They want to pay with Venmo. So one of the things that we're doing is we're filling this invitation to look up with Renew. And what we're doing right now is we have a thing in the back office in your shopping cart that you can go buy 3 boxes of Renew. Okay, it's 28 in a box. And social media is big, if anybody's on social media, but also just in person. We're breaking these up. We're literally putting them in a bag. And some people's getting a little creative. They'll print out a little label that says Renew on it and all this. We're selling them for $5 a stick.
Unless you're at Rosemary Farmers Market.
Unless you're Rosemary, then if you've never been there,
She sells them for 40.
there's a hey, I'm not gonna say or but the money might be better there. Let's just go here. $5 a stick, that's $25. In a world that we live today, where filling up a tank of gas is $100. Do you think $25 is pretty easy for somebody to turn loose of?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things we're doing is we're giving the peak in their interest with just a 5-day trial or review because it works. It works. It's a product that's like, listen, I'm not very smart on the products, but I can say as our body ages, HGH is something that we produce less and less of. And guess what the world's doing? They're nodding their head to that. They already know that. What this does is it's naturally allowing our body to start producing HGH. But what you're going to see initially, man, my sleep is unbelievable. I wake up energized, ready to go. You know? And what I would do is use these for 5 days and tell me what you think. You can pay me with PayPal, Cash App, however you pay. Guys, we're moving these because you don't think people at the bank, you don't think people wherever, teachers are, that makes sense to. So we're filling up leads with these 5-day trials, right? And then, once we fill them up, now we got to follow up to get them here, to start hearing stories of the 5-day trials. We've got a YouTube channel called Renew 28, where there's just testimony after testimony after testimony of what Renew's doing with people all around the country. And so from the 5-day trials, we get them here, we start hearing about stories. And then at that point, it's an opportunity to say, listen, we could go do this big right here in Biloxi, Mississippi. Let's get you started. Let me show you how to get started. Me and you team up together. And then we move on here. But what's happening is you're making money. You move 10 5-day trials at $25. You just put a quick $250 of quick cash into your bank. But what's more important than you is you get a brand new person started. They move 10 5-day trials. They just put $250 in quick cash in their bank. And that's the key to our industry. People want to see that they can make money. When that happens, their belief goes up. When people's belief goes up, they want to share more. Kim Gray, you just heard the story from Jerry. Jerry, I'm picturing this. Like Jerry hit the lottery. That's why I can't believe people wouldn't do this industry. So you're walking around and like you're one person away from an explosion. Just do something. And so he gets in there and he's talking. He's a weight loss guy. And this girl in the back, skinny, that says, would it help my mom? And he's like, I'll give you this. She takes it home, gives it to mom. He's like, there's no way Kim Gray's going to do this. Kim Gray is saying to herself, there's no way I'm going to do this. But I'll use the product. It starts helping her. She starts sharing. She starts making money. The rest is history. And he's getting paid for the rest of his life because of it. So here's my thing. We gotta get people, we gotta fill up Gulfport, Mississippi with people that are, in my opinion, using this, experiencing this, and having conversations with other people in the company about what's going on. And then from there, we get them involved with us. You go, how do we get them started? That's up to you. But if it's somebody that wants to make money, I'm going to give them some Renew in their hands, breaking it up, moving it, because I'm getting quick cash from that person. And I'm going to say it again, it's so important. When you get a person cash, it doesn't matter how much. It could be the guy that lives in the $4 million home, but he needs belief, right? So the minute he sees, oh my goodness, there is money coming in from this, his belief goes up. When the belief goes up, he'll go tell his buddy that he's been a little bit fearful to tell. And the more money you make, that's the wheel of motion in our industry. If you start incorporating Renew into the movement here in Gulfport and the surrounding areas, leading up to Orlando, you're setting yourself up. And this is kind of a trust thing. You just got to trust me on. You're setting yourself up for a huge win coming out of Orlando, Florida. A huge win because of what the company has got developed, and that will be in hand in Orlando, Florida. That's all I can say. I'm like Chris and Todd too. I believe that we're on the edge, because here's the difference. I'm going to say this, and I'll be done. Take any questions. I cannot put that in here. So here's the thing. How many of you do you think you could do that? Like if you wanted to, if you wanted to create some awareness, like then you could do that. And I have people doing it in our company from all walks of financial life. But all they're realizing is it's just a starting point for people to start doing something in their company, getting wins. But here's what makes our company so powerful. We're not a one-trick pony. This is not about, oh, all you can ever talk about is Renew. This is the gateway, it could be if you choose, the gateway product to opening up the shelves of Costco, the shelves of Walmart, the shelves of everything we have inside of New Age. And here's what I mean by that. When we get them in the business, through live shopping, through loyalty shopping, through flash sales, we're going to open up those people that just came in with Renew to the rest of the shopping cart for themselves. But we're going to teach them the system of Renew to create a simple way to do business. Because the magic of our industry goes back to what I said at the beginning. For the people that have made a lot of money in our industry, we tell you this. There's got to be a system, and it's got to be so simple that an 8-year-old could plug in and do it. And the hardest thing is for us to keep it simple. But when we keep it simple, the rest of the world will go, oh my gosh, I could do that. I got time to do that. I mean, that's simple. And my brother would do it. My sister would do it. My aunt and uncle would do it. I got people that would do it. When you got those three things that people are subconsciously saying to themselves, you absolutely blow this business up. So that's kind of where I went today. I hope it added some value. Is there any questions as we wrap up? I'll turn it to Todd.
If I can have 60 seconds to put an exclamation point on what you just said. Todd, you were there the night this happened. So Kim Gray had a weight loss transformation. She'd lost about 12 pounds. A couple of people started noticing, they could see it in her face, and people were asking her questions. And so she said, what do I do with all these people? I said, get them to come to a meeting. Todd and I went to Evergreen, Alabama, to a place called Betty's Accounting, a little hole in the wall accounting office behind a Fred's department store. But what I did was, she had invited a dozen or so folks, but I bought a box full of MOA, crops and room rejuvenates up there. And after we did the meeting, she sold about $800 worth of product. When everybody left, I went out there and handed her about $230. I think that was 30% of whatever it was. That was when Kim Gray, the light bulb went on for her, that this was a business and not just products only. So this is a good time to be selling products and getting some money back. So.
And I'm going to leave it with this, and then I'm going to bring up Todd. For anybody that's sitting in here or maybe watching in, and I maybe this is just on my heart this morning, but we're not perfect in network marketing. I mean, like, it's not perfect, but once you get in it, it's a better way. Like what people from the inside, and a lot of times it's people from the outside think we're weird, is because it's on a Saturday morning for people literally to drive hours away and spend money out of their own pocket to stay places, to come just share. And that's not to brag on me or brag on others, but it's just unique. And what ends up happening is you all would do it for us. And so when you're a part of that network, it's just really special. I came in today and Julie Russell from Petal, Mississippi came here and a really, really good friend of mine that built this business with me in the early days when I first enrolled, her husband, he got me my start. He just passed away. So when I saw her I had no clue she was coming. I came here and I'm going to stay over because the funeral is Tuesday. And me and Andrea is going to go to the funeral and pay our respects. And, but you never, the network is way bigger than making money. It's way bigger than just health. It's, you create lifelong friends that have your back. And a lot of people ask me, they're like, man, you came here and you like dove in with Todd and Chris, and why'd you do that? Well, first of all, I knew Todd, and there was a trust factor that you just can't, you don't know why, but you just trust. And then I met Chris, and I realized, man, I'm at home here. I'm in a special place here. These guys don't just care about money, they care about people. And so I believe that we're going to do something really special here because of that that you just can't get by making money or getting healthy. It's that special, that I don't know what it is, but it's just special. That's what we got in this company. And so thank you, Julie, for coming today. And I know Wade's with us today. And I'm going to turn it to Todd. I appreciate that. Sorry, I got a little emotion there. But this guy right here he's already seen the picture. He's already been there. He's already lived the movie out once of the world needing an opportunity and him and his company being able to provide it. And so from the private planes to the free cars to the home in North Carolina to all of that, you know, he's watched it happen on a massive scale, way more massive than me. But what I know about it is that's not what drives it. It's the stories that drive it. It's the individual stories of people affecting their life, in their health, and in their finances, and in their relationships, to whatever degree it is. That's what drives him. He travels all the time. He called me just 2 days ago, and I'm like, listen, I'm just going to go ahead and confess. I didn't work as hard this week as you did. Because he was everywhere this past week. But he's just got a heart for helping people. And so that's what makes me, I'm so proud to be here. And I believe that's why we're going to change so many people's lives with this company, is because of people like you. So I'll turn it to you.
Been here a long time. This was like 7-8 minutes because there's nothing else to train on. By the way, great job today. Really good job. Beautiful environment. Deb, thanks for getting all this started. Gary, thanks for signing up. Tyler, we got Deb, we got Robin. And thanks for getting Samantha, we got Alex, getting her over. Glad you're here today, Doc, Captain Bill. And everybody, and thanks for coming over. You know, Brent drove up here thinking that there was nobody on his team at this meeting. He thought Andrew and Melissa might come over, but it wasn't confirmed. They were about an hour from here. But he won a $10,000 jackpot last night. I said it's karma. You did good. But thanks for coming, Brent. But here's what I'm going to tell you as we end. And to help you go do what you just saw. I don't know if anybody's ever listened to Les Brown before or not, but he has a lot of stuff out on YouTube. I encourage you to listen to him. But one of my favorite of his that says you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. And he says most people in America don't keep their commitment to their commitment. We commit, but then we don't commit to the commitment. And one of the issues I have with this time frame I have in the industry is I don't have a story yet. And the reason I pulled this picture up, Ashley didn't know because Ashley doesn't like to speak. I'm calling her up here to finish this out. Just give me a 2-second heads up. We won the state championship as a football coach in '99. The next year, my third child was born, 11 months behind my second child. We have 4 now, but she walked in and quit her job at a doctor's office. This was a school system-owned house that we rented. We had 1 car between the 2 of us, and we still couldn't pay our bills. Chris mentioned it, I was driving back and forth to the University of Arkansas, about an hour up there and back to where I was coaching at, trying to get my master's. You know, I'm not an analytical person, I should be, it would save me so much time in life. But, you know, I did that to get a pay raise, but what they don't tell you about getting a pay raise as a school teacher is that it ain't that much, you still take taxes out. So I spent $10,000 in 2 years of my life, you already don't have any time as a coach, getting my master's, driving back and forth 2 hours, don't tell them what I spent on gas, when this kind of gas money, but still gas I didn't have. I get my pay raise and it was like, I'm trying to remember these numbers exactly now, but it was like $240, $2,400 a year, like $240-ish a month. Take taxes out, it's down to like $180. $110 a month was my student loan payment for getting my master's. So I'm net $70 a month for 2 years and all. So sometimes it's not how hard you work, not how many degrees you got. It's being hungry and finding a vehicle. When I met Chris Dole, so let me finish that story. So that was 2000, moving into 2001, we find network marketing. I prayed it in my life. I didn't realize it at the time. I just prayed it in my life. But I was hungry. I was so hungry. And a person told me I had to figure out why I was going to do this. And people tell me all the time, I'd never work as hard as you would. Well, you ain't never been broke as I am. Or you have no desire for your family. One of the two. I don't know which one it is, but this ain't even work. But like I would work 10 times harder. But let me tell you the final story. 2001, she was 29, I was 31. She's 50, I'm 52. We have never worked again. Like, is this work? Because I don't have a job. We all here know that our auto ships bill on Saturday mornings. I can promise you, at 12:01 a.m. this morning, we had 10 times more than we needed to pay any bill I've got in my life. I do not have to work for money. I have to work to make more money, but I do not have to work to live on this earth. And that is done for the rest of my life. You know, God willing, nothing happens to the company, all the good kind of things. But that's not a story. Like, that doesn't really attract you. Oh, good for you, Todd. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. I've lost my story. Used to be when I sat down with Chris Dole, I was making about $30,000 a month when I met him, about 2 years into my journey. And Chris had been to like 5 meetings, but he hadn't joined. I said, what's going on? He said, well, Todd, I'm not looking to make extra money. He said, I just lost the blue jean plan. I'm used to making millions per year. I didn't know if this could make millions per year. So the computer age wasn't really good here yet, or the phone age wasn't, it was early 2000s. So I was printing off every check, putting it in a red notebook. I carried it where I went. And that month I had made about 30,000. Month four, I think I made 28,000. So I just opened up a red notebook. He and I were by ourselves. And I just said, well, this is what I made this month. This is what I made last month. And Chris has never looked back. We call it the money man. And about 6 years after that, I sent my airplane for Chris to pick him up, to come pick up his. What was it? What did you buy? Lexus. I knew that he bought a new one, not a Lexus, $120,000 Lexus in North Carolina. I was living at the time. I sent my airplane to pick him up to come get his Lexus. This changes your life. Again, you don't care about this airplane. You don't care about that house. I'm going to take you. I don't know where anybody's at in this room. May not be anybody in this room in the spot. But I won't ask you to close out our meeting. Other than we're going to turn it back to you right and close it. Is because she was the mama that stayed home with 4 kids and got to see that. And now she's the mama that has, I don't even know how much we pay for college. Probably got 70,000 plus a year going out right now in college, not to include cars, insurance, apartments, you name it. Sweet money. Okay.
As he started, when we started our story off and we were coaching, as he's sitting there looking for something, I'm praying for my husband because I know how miserable he is. There's 10 coaches on the coaching staff, 3 did all the work. And he was I just knew it. He was miserable. I knew we were ready to go on to that next level. And so we go home for Christmas. His dad shows us his business. I had no desire. I just was enjoying our kids. And I've not done this in a long time, so forgive me. But I was just praying for him. I just knew it was going to be football. That man ate, slept, and breathed football. I mean, my driveway was closer than the teacher's parking lot. I knew when practice ended and when to have dinner on the table because I could look out. My back window was the practice field. So when this came into our lives about 6 months into it, and we started really making some money, like for us, a couple $1,000s, that's a big deal, you know? And I just remember him saying, I think I'm gonna go do this full time. And I'm like, oh, no, football's your thing. And he walked in one day and said, I resigned. And I said, are you serious? You resigned what? He said, I resigned, but don't worry, we're gonna get paid through the summer. We're gonna be fine. And I just remember going back into prayer going, God, you really do have a sense of humor. Because, you know, I didn't God in a box. I just knew it was gonna be football. Why would he bring us something else, right? And he brought us this. So I thought he just had a real good sense of humor because now look at us. It has allowed us to be full-time parents. We didn't put a box on our kids and said, you've got to go in-state, you can't go out-of-state. I want you to go live your dreams. And our kids got to travel all around. They have seen states. They've gone to countries that they would have never had a chance to go, staying in that box. And I'm so thankful for that. But so now here we are, and our kids now get to live out their dreams, whatever they want to do. So that's it.
Well, I just wanted to come back up here. I don't know what to say. I mean, I really don't know what to say. I too am a prayer warrior. And I know that we are all here today for a reason. And that is way bigger than what we can ever even imagine. So let's just go forward, share, dream, and just let it unfold the way that God wants it to, and just praise every time somebody comes into our life, and keep sharing these stories and know that we are helping people, the ripple effect, one person at a time. So thank you. Beautiful tribe, and I'm excited.
Me too.